What's going on, guys? Andrew Hayes here, back with another review, and today I'm reviewing Deadpool 2, which is directed by David Leitch, who previously directed Atomic Blonde and stars Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. And it's about Deadpool, who wants to assemble a team known as the X-Force to protect a young mutant from Cable. Now, I was actually pretty excited for this movie. Disclosure, I'm not the biggest fan of the character of Deadpool, but I did love uh, the first one. I thought the first one just was a very well made movie, and Ryan Reynolds was perfect as perfect casting as Deadpool, and just perfect as Deadpool, and just the humor and the story was fantastic. And so I was pretty excited for this one because I know that I thought the humor would be really good, and just it would just be a good time. And yeah, I did have a good time. While it's not quite as good as the first one, or quite as good as I hoped it would be, it's still a pretty good movie. Now, let me start off with the positives, as I always do. Like I said, I really like the humor. There are some jokes in here that had me dying, and they obviously, have their references, to Wolverine and Hugh Jackman and the DC Universe, and those were all fantastic. And they, do have references all the time, like in the first one. And they do break the fourth wall, as you would expect in Deadpool 2. Or in a Deadpool movie, I should say. But, the humor is fantastic. And, again, I think Ryan Reynolds did a really good job in this movie. And, then the X-Force, I love the part when, with the X-Force. Something happened, and I did not expect it to happen at all, but I think it really, really worked what happened, and it was hilarious, and it was easily my favorite part of the movie. I just thought that was fantastic. And, again, probably one of my favorite parts of the movie, arguably my favorite part, is Josh Brolin as Cable. I thought he did fantastic. He is having a great year so far. He was in Avengers Infinity War as Thanos and killed it in that, and he's in this as Cable and kills it in this. And he is fantastic. I just wish he was in it a little bit more, but still, I feel like he steals the scenes. Every time he's in it, he is easily my favorite part, and I think he's, steals the show. Now, as for my negatives, you would expect there to be a lot of jokes, but I felt like there were quite a few that I felt that didn't land, and were quite a few jokes that, they prolonged it. And while it was funny in the beginning, they made it go on a little bit too long, and it's like, alright, I get it. I can see what you're trying to do. Just get on with the show. I felt that a couple times with a couple of jokes. And the first act, they felt like, because they tried to give Deadpool some more depth and more emotion, which, I don't mind, and I actually really like that they did that, but, I felt like how they did it, and just tone-wise, it didn't work, because they tried making it more emotional in that first act, and just, they would try to be more emotional, and then they would kind of hit you with a joke, and I just felt like that didn't work, and that's a lot of the jokes that didn't really work for me were in this first act. But once, Josh Brolin shows up as Cable, it gets better, and a lot better, actually. And, in that first act, that was my main problem with, the jokes not landing, and it felt like it just tonally, for me, it didn't work, and, the pacing just was a bit off. But like I said, once Josh Brolin shows up, I think it's very very smooth sailing from here, and it just is a fun ride after that. Not saying that I didn't enjoy the first act. It's just that the first act just kind of felt really sort of weak to me, and compared to the rest of the movie, and in the first one. Now, as for my grade, I've seen it twice, and I'm pretty confident, that it's a B plus. Like I said, when the jokes, when they work, and there's quite a few, jokes that, like I said, that didn't work, but there's a lot more that do work, and obviously the good outweighs the bad in that respect. Ryan Reynolds is great, Josh Brolin is great, and overall it's a very, very fun sequel, and a good one. And I do give it a B plus, and I do highly recommend watching, especially if you were a fan of the first one. Now, before I do leave, I will say that this is probably features the best post credit scene that I have ever seen. I think it was hilarious and funny. It's probably my favorite post credit scene ever. Now, thank you guys for watching. Please be on the lookout for my next review, and please comment, like, subscribe, do all that kind of fun stuff. Until next time, guys, have a nice day.